CubCam TV.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Good.
You're excited because I'm going to let people know I've had a little preview of this project before and I'm buzzing because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounding very, very spicy indeed, man. I'm excited to. Have you announced what you're going to be doing yet, or do you want to jump right in?
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, you know what, it's quite short, so I just want to just arm people on whatever they're going to listen to. So anybody that is caught up on this live right now is opportunity to listen to it for the first time, you know. So let's just do it like virtually and just hit it and go.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Do you want to run the first tune then? I've got notes written down and everything. I'm excited to tell you, man. It sounds cold.
I know what. I'll run the first tune, then after the first tune, then let's see what you know.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
This is such a good way to intro a project, man. It's so breathy.
That's the first one. That's bad for that track. Yeah.
It's such a cool way to introduce a project, man. Like listening, like, you know, when you get a lot of albums and they sort of start off and they either start off with like the tune that's already been released, or they start off with, I don't know, something that's actually like nothing to do with the rest of the project. This feels like the project is being introduced. It's all of those elements are elements you then hear throughout the project, whether it be the breathiness, whether it be the kind of is it a vocoder you've got on the vocals over the intro?
Yeah, I have both. Yeah.
It sounds super cool, man. Again, there's something really kind of swirly about it. The drums are almost like Dilla-esque in the way they've been. Are they programmed in, or are they live?
No, what I did, I sampled them live by myself. I made them so it could sound. Basically.
It sounds awesome, man. Again, vocal-wise, like when you're putting something like this together, the journalist in me is literally jumping out right now. I want to know. But when you're putting like a tune like this together, I suppose what goes through your head from a producer's point of view, because this is like such a unique sounding thing, and it's very you as well. Like, what goes through your head when you're going, I need to make it sound like this? Like, what's that process like?
Okay, so let me just tell you how I made this particular song.
Yeah.
So I said the first chord you heard, boom, that's the chord I played. Then once I played the chord, my manager was around. He was just said by me. So he was just so he did. I was like, hold on. So I started the chord. Then the sound came. I built with the sound, and I just laid like a template. Then immediately we started writing to what we wanted. Then while we were writing, I was building, like the design kept coming while I was trying to approach it, you know. I was like, okay, no, let it sound like this. Okay, no, let me automate the voice, let me vocalize. I was just trying everything while I was going, you know. And at the end of the day, I just did it. I got to the point that I just realized I was done. So I didn't even know how and what I did. I just went with the flow. It just came in from the chord. Then we had the vocals. Then from there, I think that was it to the end.
Awesome.
And this was the last record we made.
I was going to say, this is something that I've seen people doing. It tends to be the last one for. I tend to find that because you know kind of what the album's about by the time it's finished. It actually makes a lot more sense to do the intro at the end.
Yeah, sure. That was it.
Awesome, man. Why only 53 seconds though? Because this feels like it could have been like some extensive ballad. This could have gone in like 1,000 different directions. Why keeping it to 53?
So the thing was, this song was not supposed. This was not supposed to be on the project. Why? Because we already arranged the songs, you know. So, but I didn't want it to start the way the second song started. I was like, you know what, I need to prep you for the second song, you know, for the first song, for the real first song, you know. So I was prepping for the real first song. So it needed to be so short that when it goes to the next song, you nearly think you're listening to one song. You think you're listening to a track, not knowing that actually this is like two songs. You just break, you know. So I wanted to just
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's like
yeah.
it's like the pre-game show before the game
Yeah.
kicks off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I
Yeah.
love it. Awesome. Yeah. Right, let's jump into the second one then, because I want to hear how they now transition, knowing that that's the kind of case of it.
All right. Let's go.
I'm strong now. It's scared to get it wrong now. I'm watching as they all go. Can make it on my own now. Then slow down, I got control now. The crowd is screaming so loud. I made my daddy so proud. I'm watching as it go now. It's so loud.
The percussion is nuts. That little blend, man, the blend of the sounds is so cool. I feel like this is you flexing the muscles a bit. I won't lie. This is like a production flex kind of session. Beautiful stuff.
So this is for this.
Mate, this one, I swear, the first thing that I noticed about this when I had a quick listen through was the bass line is so kind of post-jazz, but then you combine it with such a, like, breathy, which is a common, whenever I react to your tunes that you've produced, I always get that feeling of breathiness and kind of space within the recording, which is, it's a very kind of modernized, I feel, production sort of approach that you have. When you kind of put this together, like, did you intend to kind of have that sort of neo-soul-esque element going on? Was that the plan right from the beginning?
Yeah, so I've been into sound for like a while. So I've been trying to see how I was going to make sound design work on every genre I have and work on. So I've been on it for a while. I've made so many songs to get to this point. So when I wanted to make this project, this was the first beat I started on July 9th. This was the first beat. So this was like an introduction for me to know that I actually know the sound that I'm actually. So this was the first time. So
awesome, man. Like, I mean, the thing that's really, really cool about this is the vocal sounds like almost like a combination of Georgia Smith and Savannah. Like, that's the sort of area that it kind of falls into for me. And then when you put a voice like that that's so like liquid, over something like this, which is almost like Alte fusion in like its own kind of like minimalist zone. It's mad. Like again, like how did this work working with the vocalist? Because I feel this is not, was this a straight up studio session? Was this stems? Like how did it work?
No. We had to. She had to come to me. She came here and we spent some time together. We had so much conversations. We talked. We didn't just make a record. We made a song. We made a connection that anybody that was going to listen to this was going to feel what we actually made. So we had so much conversation. So she didn't just sing anything. She sang what she felt and what I explained to her. So I think she got music and the rest. All I just needed to do was just to hold my skills and cut the place, and we had this.
Awesome. I mean, this is cool. This is what's really, again, the thing I love about this is how kind of different it is. But I've listened through the full project already, so I know how different it gets the whole way through. Everyone listening in is literally in for a treat. Also, when this drops at midnight, I'm going to be all over it. So I saw someone in the chat earlier saying this sounds almost like EDM. I don't know if that's whether something that you take a kind of influence of, because your sound is quite electronic, but it still has a lot of those soulful elements in there. Is that something you do like on purpose?
Yeah, I do that. You know, this is the thing, for me, Afrobeat, doesn't need to just sound. Afrobeat can still sound funny, you know, it can still sound anyways. It can sound. You just need somebody who can wield it the way it needs to, you know. So as I discovered sound design, I was like, you know what, this is a world where you can do anything you want. So I just took Afrobeat and went into electronic, you know, and just made out of it. So basically, whatever you listen to is just electronic sounds that Afro sounding on, you know, to make it.
Sick, man. Sick. Right, cool. Let's get into track number 3 then, man. This is sounding sick. Thanks for having me on as well, by the way. Thanks for inviting me on. This is great fun.
Let's
Nice! This little break in the middle here. So cold.
Yeah.
So cold, man. Like the thing that immediately jumped out at me about this one is just how, like, if from a DJ perspective, like this is a tune that I immediately go, I can imagine throwing this into like nearly any kind of setting and it working, because it has that kind of, I suppose, sort of late night dance floor energy. It also has the kind of feeling about this could be on daytime radio. Like it has so many I feel kind of areas when you're putting this one together. Like the swirlies kind of synthesizers in there are great. The drums are really sharp as well, which I think is really needed for a tune that has this kind of level of breathiness and kind of space going on. That bridge towards the end, was that in the original plan? That little breakdown where you get that little vocal riff going on?
Yeah, so the thing was, had so much space. I had so much space in the song that I needed to fill up production. You know, I didn't just want it to just be full song. I wanted it to be me messing around with it. So I was like, okay, what best can I do? You know. So usually when making music, sometimes when they transpose the music, they take it up, you know. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take it back. That's what I did. So while the music was going front, and I now had a new song for that 3 minutes if I actually want. So I just did it. And it was just seamless, you know. Just the way it sounded, that's the way it came. You know, it was just seamless at the end. I didn't really,
Yeah, man.
like I had to
Yeah,
even
man.
stop myself because this song has a kind of like endless possibilities, kind of.
Yeah.
You can do so much, you know. You can do so much. I had to stop myself first, you know, so I don't go, you know, overboard. So basically,
I think this the thing that's really cool about this as well is again we're listening via live, so people aren't necessarily going to get like the super fine details of like things that are going on.
yeah, yeah,
There's a bass instrument on this that pops in, and it's almost like a kind of SoundCloudy future bass sort of sound, and
yeah,
it's very just kind of poignant. And when people listen to this when it comes out, they'll be able to hear it, and it's this sound that almost sounds like it's going to turn into an LFO. It sounds like it's going to go wow, but it never does.
yeah,
It's like the start of it.
yeah.
What was behind that as the decision, I suppose, of putting that into the
All
tune?
right, so I realized. So back to my sound design, you know, I realized we have the low frequencies, we have the high frequency, you know. So anything can be the low frequency and anything can be the high. So what I did was just created one low frequency. So I pick any instrument I go to low frequency. If it's good, I just used it. I wanted something that was actually going to fill up my speakers and not strike my speakers. So I went for that sound, basically.
Awesome.
So that
Awesome.
was it.
It's really cool to hear, man. Again, the variation over these first three tracks is kind of
Yeah,
crazy, and it does kind of
yeah,
show.
yeah,
From what I remember, it does carry on the entire way through the project. You do kind of throw this all in so many different directions. Like,
yeah, yeah,
in regards to kind of like building projects, because I know you've kind of exclusively produced bigger projects before.
yeah.
Like with this, did you kind of, I suppose, in your head go, I'm just going to go wherever I want with it because it's mine. I can do whatever I want.
Mm, yes, I think yes, that was the first thing. You know, I wanted to touch myself. I wanted to feel myself. I wanted to feel like 100% of myself. So most times on other projects, I'm maybe 50% in on the whole entire project. Sometimes 70. You know, I leave the remaining for every other person. But at this point, I wanted to do something that was 100%. Yeah, like it came out the way. So that was how I did it. And it was easier that way because that was how. So I was scared of what anybody was going to think or whatever was going to happen. It was me. This is me. This is how I would do
Yeah,
the song. If I want, so I just gave
it's
you guys
really
my
kind of cool.
what I made my for you guys basically. So this.
It's really cool to listen to because obviously I've been kind of following what you've been doing production wise
Yeah,
since the Horoscopes project, and
yeah,
I feel on that as a project we got to see like almost like the tip of this iceberg because that's super creative, that's super
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
crunchy and very futuristic for the sort of
yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then you kind of move into this, and this is almost like it's more refined but more out there at the same
yeah,
time, which is
yeah,
a crazy kind of doubler.
yeah, yeah. Sure. That's
There we
it.
go. Cool. Right, should we get into track number 4 then, which is called Jolly, I believe.
Yeah, Joey. Yeah.
Let's go.
I said, see your body. I pray, make you get the chance right, baby. I'm a lot of my baby. Let me see my baby. I want my baby. I can't let the sound to come out. No for let them cast I don't want to block. I make you touch. The way you run for me. I know feel when I'm on me. Keep on.
Those chords are wicked, man. That little chord progression is so on the money. Sweet. Yeah, man. I mean, listening to this from like from a fan's perspective, first and foremost, it's a very exciting solo project to drop. And you can just hear there's so much personality on the production side of things. There's a lead instrument on this. Again, I don't know how much is going to be going through the stream and how much people are going to be able to pick up certain things. But that lead instrument, what the hell is it? Because I genuinely have no idea what that lead instrument is, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that's the flute. Is it flute? I can't even remember. I will not lie. So then there was one guy I saw on Instagram. He was playing something. It was fluty, you know, but it has so many. It was from like made from wood, but it had so many. I don't know what it was, but the sound was so crazy. So when I heard the sound, I didn't know that sound, but I had to create it. So I just went to create mine. You know, the sound was crazy. So I used it to write music from the beginning. That was it. I just used it to write the music from the beginning. So I think the sound was sound something that I used.
I mean, it's such a unique one. This one obviously is a little bit more, I suppose, instrumental led than a lot of the other stuff on the project as well. This one's a lot more, I feel, about kind of showcasing the sound design, the soundscape, the actual, the kind of craft more than anything else. Like, was this almost like a nice break for you to kind of go, I haven't got to worry about where the vocals are going to go. I can just go.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yes. So basically, you know, I had to. That was even singing the chorus because of while I was making the beats, the idea just came in with the line, but I have the words complete. The only word I had was Jolie. When I was mumbling, you know. So when I did that and I created the whole first beat, and I called and Hit Boy Kills. I told Hit Boy Kills, please, I want you to sing this hook again. You know, so it was that I like your vocal. Like what he's doing to the beat, so leave it like that. So he did his verse and he left. And my manager came. I was like, "Alpha P, hear this thing. What do you think?" P was like, "Okay, no, let's just write it." So just put words on what I already had with this special because that was a one line take. Like while I was making the beat, the mic was on the mic, and I just punched the record in. I just record Jolie. I just. You know, and immediately we had that. So I was like, oh shit, this was dope, you know. So, but I wanted someone to take it, but I mean, everybody was like, you know, my vocals and it had this blend, maybe sound is soft as the sounding right now. So, I mean, we just kicked it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, this was cool. This was cool from a listener's perspective, I think, because it does you do kind of get this, I suppose, this kind of wash of vocal stuff. And obviously it's your project as the producer. It's cool to kind of have that lead project under your name. So it's good to kind of see something that is primarily like, this is you flexing. This is your like central kind of bit in the middle. But yeah, man, this is really, really cool. Shall we move on to Patiently? Because this is one I've got a lot to say about this one.
Let's go.
they fall from me. Baby, they fall from me. Patiently, I wait for you patiently. So they fall from me. Baby, they fall from me.
This is the party tune. This is the party tune.
Yeah, in a relationship, a situation. What you want, can I come for? I'm a thing that you wait for me. Body, no time to waste. Back to the chase. Make I wait, make I grace. If you go come my place, I make I come your place. No time to waste. Back to the chase. Make I wait, make I grace. If you go come my place, I make I come your place. Patiently, I dey wait for you patiently. So they come for me. Baby girl, no dey fall for me. Patiently, I dey wait for you patiently. No dey fall for me. Baby girl, no dey fall for me. No,
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a party starter of a tune. Like, this is one that the second you sent the project over, obviously I messaged you before when you sent the project over, like, can I get these two? And then I listened again to this one and went, why have I not asked for this one? Like, why have I not asked for this? If this is the tune, yeah. Like, I've seen people in the chat kind of discussing it, like, this is the one I think people have gone the most mad for, which is understandable. Wait till you hear it actually full quality via a streamer, because there is so much going on. There's so much kind of subtlety in the way it's put together. First of all, what I really liked about this is the combination of almost like dancehall-esque chord patterns with that more sort of, I'll almost say like a typical kind of burner-esque sort of rhythm. So when you kind of put those two things together, you end up in this really kind of cool, again, unique, very Duktor Sett sound. Like, how did this one actually come together creation-wise?
So I think this was the last song that we produced. So what happened was, so my manager came in halfway while I was making the project. When he came, he listened to everything. So we're going back and forth. He was like, Seth, we need this kind of song. I was like, okay, yeah, we don't. Okay, who do we get? And because this kind of song, I can't make the beat. I need to make it with the artist, you know. So Spitfire was the guy I've worked with before, and he's so young and he has the vibe, and he's somebody that I could.
He appears a couple of times on this project as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, he's just on one track.
Okay.
Just on this track. So he came in, and so we wrote the song together. Everybody, like, we produced everything. Like, it was me, him, and Paladin. So we did everything together. So everything you're listening to came in from the session. You know, I started the chord, bang, 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 and when I played that, and immediately he started writing. Melodies started coming, words were coming, everything was just coming. So while they were writing, I was making the beat. They were writing, I was making the beat until, you know, I was like, you know what? Now let's record. Just point to record, and we're cutting, we're making sure that all of us were in sync with the main music, you know. And one sweetie was while we're making the record. So one of Spitfire's friend came in, as in towards the end of making the record. When he came, I mean, you need to see the way this guy was dancing to the record, and I was like, but I'm producing it. I'm not dancing. How is this guy actually dancing to this stuff? You know. So I just felt like, you know, this was a good record and we needed it, and we got it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Definitely. I think this is one that I think is going to almost catch people off guard a little bit as well, because of the sort of instrumental stuff going on beforehand. You then jump into this, and it's like, I can see like nightclub lights going on. I can see like people forming circles and dancing with their friends and stuff. It's got that real kind of nightlife-esque kind of feel to it. Like, again, I don't know how much of it translates over the stream and how much of the subtleties and stuff. There's a really kind of subtle, delicate horn line that goes on in the background, and I don't know whether it's a horn or whether it's a synth, but there's something that like kind of floats around that background, and it just amplifies that kind of almost regal kind of party vibe. It just feels like a special moment. Did you know with this one, I suppose, that this was going to turn into something special?
I didn't know. At this point, I'm looking for the last. You know, when you're looking for the last piece, so you're just you're more careful for it to fit than for the thing to be something. You know, I didn't know that it was going to. So I was more like, you know, we needed to fit something in to complete the art, and when it was fitting, I realized that it's actually very important piece, not just a fitting piece, you know, and just so I'm proud of it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I mean, I was going to say to everyone in the chat at the moment, like, what's been everyone's favorite preview so far? Because there's been such a wide range of the stuff that's played so far. Obviously, just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 rather than the track names.
Yeah.
So it'll be easy to remember. But like this one, I think for me, this is the one out of all of them that if I was like I suppose from a DJ perspective or like a radio perspective, I'd look at it and go, that's the one for the dance. That's the one that I know that I can run at 2 a.m. When people have had a drink or two and they're going to be bouncing off the walls.
Woo!
Just, yeah, literally. Shapes that I've never seen are going to get thrown in a dance, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. Should we move on to track number 6 then?
6, yeah. Yeah, I go.
That bass notation is just so Duktor Sett right from the jump. It's so like it's so on the money.
When you know be feeling low, but you very right, yo. Get you rise me, you be militant, yo. I be vigilant, yo. Be like me from my side, yo. Be immigrant, yo. Very different, yo. Oh, by my mind, get you very plain, yo. Get you very plain, yo. So now waiting with me, yo. I don't know, now waiting with me. Be like two times, yo. Now waiting with me. I don't mind, yo. Body bad, looking nice, getting mine. Tell you what, then I wait till now wait till now wait till
Fire. Fire, 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 fire. Again, this one, the second I heard that synth, that lead synth right from the jump, I was like, it's obviously a Duktor Sett tune. This is like the bread and butter, that central kind of fusion of kind of very organic but still very digital sounding instrumentation. Like, just talk first of all, just talk to me about how this one came together. Obviously, this is Hit Boy Kells, I think, on the vocal.
Yeah, Hit Boy Kells. So this was the first song we recorded in the entire project. This was the first song that we actually recorded. So when I made the beat was part of the things I did, but I didn't really see the beauty of the beat. Hit Boy Kells actually jumped on it. So while Hit Boy Kells was writing, because he wrote in the same place, the way we wrote together. So I mean, when he got now waiting this, wow, my head just woof. I was like, shit, this is the song. This is like, I was like, holy there, you know. So okay, cool, we have this. Okay, let's build something. Oh, get to the waiting with this, and that was the track. I mean, like, it came out so good that I had to go so crazy because I didn't know what to play again. Like, the track was done before it was done. You know, it was done before it was. So every other thing, I was just messing with your emotions. So whatever you listen to, I feel I break your emotions. I'm so sorry. I had to, like, you know, the track was already done. So basically, that track was a very nice one. I like the fact that I needed to bring the Nigerian dancehall kind of thing. You know, because this is like a traditional Nigerian kind of music that when you that, oh, this is a Nigerian scene. So I need that flavor to go on progress and.
Awesome. And I mean, this is what's been so fun to listen to for this as like as an overall project, that again, that variation, you spoke about the last track being like the final piece of the puzzle, but like all the other puzzle pieces are just as important in making it this really well-rounded kind of essentially showcase of what you do, more than anything else. Like a question I did want to ask is, how do you know when to strip something back? Like when do you, because this one I feel there are elements of it that are a bit more stripped back. It's not like as many different things going on. There's that lead kind of synth, and that takes the majority next of the frequency space next to the vocal. Like,
so let's go to the next song. Let's get to the next song.
Yeah, let's get to the final one. Let's go. This is one that I'm very excited for people to hear as well, because this is like I heard this and went, this collaboration makes so much sense as like a as a thing.
Yeah, let's go.
Doctor. Think for my friends, think for my family, think for myself, think for myself, I think for myself. Bamboo the chop, monkey the loop. Bamboo conky, the key to stone. Shake the flam, I beg good land before he castle. Doctor, doctor, good land before he castle. Doctor, doctor,
I was waiting for someone to get it in the chat. I was waiting.
this life you be chasing, no. Moves that comes and innocent, no. One day we one make a deal with my baby. No they pressure me. Make a deal with my baby. Then go back before he comes. Doctor, doctor, shake the flag. Then go back before he comes. Doctor, doctor.
Yo, and this was the last track.
Mate, this one is, again, this is a very, very special tune. First of all, I've got to ask the question, because I've been dying to ask someone who has worked with the Cavemen before. From a production standpoint, how much enjoyment did you get out of doing this collaboration? Because I can imagine it being an ideal scenario, knowing how good they are.
So while I was making I think immediately I made the beats. While I was making the beats, something was like, you know what, the Cavemen needed to. So by the way, the Cavemen, the project of theirs, I worked with them, I focused on it. So we already had this connection after making that project. So while I was making mine, something was like, you know what, call these guys. This was a track. So immediately I went and played it when their big space. Them I played. I think this was the only song when they recorded it. They just sent it to me. I was like, oh, you know, because I got the energy to them the song and just made it. You know, I was enjoying myself actually. I made it in the morning, like around 8 a.m. in the morning. You know, I was making the music. I was just enjoying making the music, and I got this song. So.
Sick, man. I mean, the pacing on this one's slightly slower than the other tracks. Obviously, that kind of speed really works, especially kind of going from the party tunes in the middle and then kind of slowing down towards the end of the project. It does feel like there's a story kind of being told. Was that intentional?
Yeah. So I had to make it a full circle, you know. So I started slow. I went, then I came down. So your stuff again and start it again. So I can get you to get like 2 listens at first without you even knowing. You know? So it's
There we
quite,
go. I mean,
yeah,
it's a pretty special body of work. For a 7-tracker, you cover so much ground. You cover so
yeah,
many kind of
yeah.
different influences and elements,
Mm,
and you still obviously got that
mm,
big kind of twist of what you do, which is the way I see it. You kind of almost electrify certain instrumentation, and you turn it into something that's very pristine and shiny and
yeah,
very like unique in its design.
yeah.
I suppose the only question I've really got left to ask about it is like in regards to what you've made project wise. What would your favorite part of this project be? Whether it be the producing it, the kind of getting it all back. Like, what's been your favorite part of this as a journey?
I think the favorite part for me was in it. I was more like an editor, you know, because I was part of it. The artists were part of it. People that were part of it. So I, I was the person holding the. I was the person with the cut, the cut whatever I wanted. So that was the part because now it's more for the like say you have everything, choose the best that you need. So what I did was just selected everything that was so good for me. No first, and I was like, no, do you trust me? Say yes, no, this is what I. That's that was the best part.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, congratulations. The project is fire. Thanks for having me on
Yeah,
on
no,
this stream to kind of listen through it with you,
yeah,
man. Thanks for the early listen as
sure,
well.
man. Sure, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to people hearing it, man. I'm really looking
Yeah,
forward to seeing how they react to it.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much. So it's gonna be
No worries,
live
man.
tonight, so you guys, you know, show some love and just, you know, enjoy good
Awesome.
music.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Drops at midnight. I'm going to be straight on the case, getting everything ready. I'm going to be including a few of these in the mix I'm doing tomorrow. It has to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right, I'll duck out and let you do your outro on your ones. But yeah, salute,
Right.
sir. Thanks for having me on.
Them sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCam TV. Stay locked.